What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. I am your host and captain and dad, Garrett Morlang, and here in the studio with me is the nerd dad, Zach Keenan.
Hello, everybody. It's glad to be back another week. It's been
a
crazy week. Feels like it's been very smoky.
Very
Lots
smoky.
of smoke.
Man, it was so horrible. Like wildfires, I'll never get used to them. I grew up on the East Coast. I didn't even know wildfires were a real thing until I moved to California, and they are very real.
I heard on the news it was like 320 lightning strikes, like around, like California, Nevada. Like,
dang,
pretty insane amount. It's a lot of lightning strikes.
Did you guys get it up where you live? The lightning last night, the thunder. We had lightning and rain. It started like downpouring. We're like, what the heck? Like, it doesn't rain in the middle of summer here. Like, we get rain 2 months a year, and it's not this time of year. All of a sudden, in Modesto, all of a sudden there's like, I saw a flash outside. I'm like, gunshot? Like, I don't know. Like, I was like, there was no sound though. And then like 10 seconds later, like, okay, cool. We are having a lightning storm. For the longest time, there was no rain. It was just lightning and sound, and then just rain. Like,
I found a TikTok video. It was like a TikTok video of the guy. He's like, first guy to ever hear thunder. Man, that was loud. No, he goes, wow, that was bright. He like shakes after he hears the thunder.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, yeah. So it's one of those things. Since moving to California, I've been here 5 years now. It's so hard to get used to the lack of thunderstorms. Like, they'll get rain here those 2 months a year, but like you don't ever get thunderstorms here. Where like back in New York, you'll get thunderstorms all summer long. I guess it's a normal summer thing. It's like it's 90 degrees outside, and all of a sudden a thunderstorm happens. You run outside, and when as kids, you like run outside and play in the mud puddles. It's great. So it's so bizarre to me. Like, no, summer here is just bone dry, and when it does rain, there's no cool thunder and lightning. It's just rain and gray and dreary, and usually floods because they never get rain. But
I feel like it used to rain a lot more when I was younger, and then every year it feels like it's just gotten like less and less and less. And then now summer, this is like a crazy summer.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know it storms up in the mountains.
Yeah.
In the summer, it just doesn't storm in the valley.
Right. It's just bone dry down here. But yeah, between that and then that's what started some of those fires out in the Bay Area too. Like, so we've been dealing with tons of smoke around here to the point where like the air quality is so bad, like they're recommending don't even go outside unless you're wearing a mask, which joke's on you, we're all already wearing masks.
Suck it, Mother Nature. You thought you had us this time. We're already doing it.
We're already doing it. But man, to the point where I posted a picture on my Instagram, and it totally looked like a sepia filter, like on Instagram. And I'm like, this photo has no filter on it. It was actually orange outside. Like, everything outside looked like an Oompa Loompa, like had diarrhea all over.
It's scary times, man. It's super scary.
I opened my window. I'm like, Mad Max today? Okay, cool. Yeah. Where's the cool car?
Yeah, it's nuts. My boss, she works out of the Bay, and she says it's like really bad over there. Like, it's super bad. Like, their house was like on like a red flag alert warning last night because of the lightning strikes. Like, you might have to evacuate. Like, people already have like their stuff like all packed up.
Dude, we're just out in so my pest control company I work for is based out of Patterson. We've talked about that before. There was fires out there. Like, it literally came like right up to the 5, the Highway 5, which is Patterson's right on the 5. So like that whole town could have just like been burned down just on Saturday, I think it was, or it was last Thursday or Friday. I was like, that's so crazy. Like, usually
it never gets that close.
Usually the fires around here, like up in the mountains, up in the hills, the forest, or maybe out in the Bay Area again in some of like the forested areas. But around here, like, I don't know, there was a little one up in Diablo last year, but nothing like that. Like, that was super close. That was kind of bizarre. So.
Yeah. But yeah, that's life. That's California living right there for you guys.
Fires are scary. Not a fan.
Everybody associates California with earthquakes. Like, oh, you're from California? You must get a lot of earthquakes. It's like, no, we don't get any earthquakes. Like fires, on the other hand, always. We get fires every year, just like, Oklahoma gets tornadoes.
Basically, California is just Mordor. That's all. Like it's just constantly just raining fire and orcs
Dark Lord
everywhere.
Sauron is our governor.
Oh man, yeah, it gets pretty crazy out here. But man, cool. Yeah, so that's a little taste of our lives the last week. Just chaos and death and doom and gloom. But it's all good. It's all good because we're here today.
The ring rates. The ring rates are our congressmen.
Okay, that's enough of that.
And our senators.
You're gonna offend someone. You better be careful. Too much truth, maybe.
Clever. Even if you disagree with me, it's kind of clever. It's a clever comparison.
I definitely don't disagree with you. That's for sure. That's why I said too true. But today we want to talk about fun things. So we are excited to talk about Deathloop news, Facebook going back on their promises, and new games set in the Arkham universe. There's a little asterisk on that. I mean, I'm putting an asterisk on that. But first,
both of them said they're set in the Arkham events.
No, one of them's not. It's in the article.
No, you're wrong.
Okay, well, we'll Google it when we get to that article. How about that, when we talk about that game? Because I'm pretty sure I've read a couple IGN posts about how one of the games is actually not. And it's the game you would suspect would be.
It's based off of the Arkham... Go ahead, we'll get there. But it's like a... It's a multiverse.
I'm just reading what I saw on IGN Instagram.
You're wrong.
They put two different posts on IGN. IGN's wrong. I'm sorry. I just read the IGN. Usually they're right. But first, let's give quick shout outs to our Super Gamer producer, Adrian Homeboy Holmes, and our Super Gamer sponsors, Bill Bird, Julie Bates, Dustin Long, Brent Fox, and Daniel James. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support. Supporting us over there at Patreon every single month, keeping us well fed with entertainment, that is, with video games, and again, we've talked about before, and
bread.
Bread. That's not what I was going to say. And bread. I was going to say and cool giveaways for you guys. So if you want to support us just like those fine people have, go over to patreon.com/supergamerboys, and we're going to talk about more of that later. But now it is time for us to get into the mailbag.
Woohoo! Mail time! Or mail? Yes. No, it's mailbag. Oh well, whatever. I'll get it right.
I don't think you say mailbag. I think pretty sure it's probably trademarked by Blue's Clues or something. Nickelodeon.
Now mail time would be Blue's Clues. So I have to switch it to mailbag.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So we gotta stick with mailbag so we don't get copyright strike or something.
It's mailbag time.
It's mailbag time. So our question this week comes.
Sorry.
Oh, Gesundheit.
I sneezed all over my hand.
Gesundheit. Our question this week comes from Sir Prince-A-Lot from Discord, and he asked a very, very serious question.
Sir Prince-A-Lot? Again? Oh, geez.
Thank
you, Sir Prince-A-Lot.
He's on fire. PlayStation calls you. Hey, squares are offensive now. We're phasing the square button out with the PS5 so we can be more PC. What emblem or shape and what color would you suggest?
Oh man, that's actually a very serious question because I've always thought that squares are extremely offensive. I just feel like they've always been kind of rigid. I see a square and it's like, oh, you think you're better than me, you dumb square. Well, guess what? Maybe I don't want to be a square. Maybe I want to fit into your mold. So every time, that's why in games I always map the square button to anything else on the controller, so I don't gotta press it. Yeah, it's literally the most pristine looking button on my controller.
Zech never touches it.
I don't. Screw you, squares.
In fact, a couple of the controllers are missing the square button. He's popped them right off. Doesn't even want to look at it. Don't even want to look at it.
Yep. I set them on fire. Pop them off. Set them on fire.
And throw them in the wildfires.
Yep.
Zech started the wildfire. Oh no.
Oh man. Okay, so I got a few ideas for this. Okay, I think one of them would be like an equal sign.
So I brought my DualShock 4 so we can use it for.
Look how gross that thing is. Do you ever wash your controllers?
What are you talking about?
A lot of grease.
I don't know what that is. So this controller has been in storage. I think the rubber is deteriorating. It actually is like all greasy. And I don't know why it wasn't like that when I used it like 6 months ago.
It's okay.
But you know how rubber like starts breaking down? I think it's happening, which I'm kind of bummed about. So this is what a DualShock looks like. What would you like in place of the square?
Okay, so I would go with I'd go with equal signs. But as far as the color,
equal sign. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically a square without the two of the sides.
No, an equal sign. Okay. Equal signs. If you put sides on equal square, you get a rectangle.
Well,
do you know your shapes? Have you done preschool? No.
A long time.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
No, so yeah, I'd go with like a maybe equal sign, or I'd go with you know what? I'd go with a rhombus. I'd go with a bright fluorescent yellow rhombus.
Rhombus, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing I always thought was interesting. They have like blue, they got the red, they got the green. Why pink? Like pink is very close.
Pink or is it purple? You'd probably know better.
Well, it is purple, I guess.
It's like in the middle.
It's in the middle. I just feel like it's a very close color to the red. Like it's a shade of like they're the same color, just like different slight hues. Like why wasn't one of them yellow? I mean that's what Xbox did. Xbox has, bright yellow. It's like so it makes sense that it would be yellow. So I'm on board with you with the yellow. A rhombus. Now rhombus, that's one I'm having a hard time picturing in my head. What the heck is a rhombus?
It's like a parallelogram, but like this, sideways.
It's a diamond.
Yeah.
On its side. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's a diamond on its side.
That's
so it's just a square, but with different sides.
The angles are different. The angles are different.
You can just first an equal sign, a square with no sides. Now it's a rhombus, which is a square just on a slant, like with a bad carpenter. A bad carpenter put it together.
A square, by definition, has equal sides in all directions and equal angles.
Yes, correct.
Okay, that's geometry 101.
But they're all basically made of the same parts.
A rhombus has two sides, two pairs of angles, basically. So you got, two at like 90 degrees and two at 180 or something, or not at 80, 180, like, I don't know. I can't do the math in my head right now. But they're totally different shapes.
Okay.
They might all have 4 points. But if you were to solve a theorem to see if, a square equals a rhombus, you're wrong.
Technically, no. Squares do equal a rhombus.
Nope.
If you added up all 4 angles, it's still going to equal 360. You
add up about any shape.
You add up all the sides are all going to be whatever.
You can say that about any shape. You say about a triangle.
I don't know. Prove me wrong. You can't prove me wrong.
I can, because the angles are different.
I would choose a trapezoid.
Okay.
Which is just a square with 2 different sides.
It's not a square. It's a trapezoid. For the same reasons. My word. What do they teach you in school?
I haven't been to school in a long time,
This is why homeschool works, people. That's why I am living proof. I know shapes.
I know shapes too. I'm looking at them right here.
If you think I'm wrong, comment in the Discord and let us know.
Okay, so if
is a rhombus a square?
If I took 4, let's say 4 foot long 2x4s, okay, nailed them all together, all 4 sides, 90-degree angles, 4 foot on all sides. That's a square, right? Yep. If I took that square and just like pushed it real hard and bent those nails and bent it into like it would look like a rhombus. It's a rhombus.
And now it's a different shape by literally what you just said.
But they're the same.
No, they're not. You literally called it a rhombus. You didn't call it a square.
Right. It's different, but it's made up of the same parts, which essentially means it's the same.
Hey, you know what else is made up of the same parts? Human beings. Are we the same? No.
Yeah.
Point in case, I know my shapes and you don't.
I don't know. We'll have to put this up to a vote to the listeners because I think I might be onto something. I think I might have figured something out that even mathematicians could never figure out.
That's impossible. I'm talking to you right now. I know for a fact you didn't do that.
I mean, we can agree to disagree. We can agree to disagree. I'm also just totally messing with you. I'm not that crazy. But also, did you? No, never mind. I was totally gonna make a flat Earth joke, but I'm not. Flat Earth, same thing.
Same thing. Same parts.
Same parts. Oh man. Cool. Well, that was a fun question. So yellow, we have a yellow trapezoid.
Yeah, we agree on yellow.
And a yellow rhombus. So
or yellow equal sign.
Basically symbols that look very similar to squares but aren't squares.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, what if we did like a star? Is that too close to an X or a triangle?
That'd be cool. Like a star would be cool.
I think a star would be cool.
I can see that being an actual button, honestly. Like hit star to, during like a QTE event. I think that's the other thing too about the yellow is that I wonder if the yellow is too hard to show up. Like I think that Xbox can do it right, just because
the whole button is colored. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you can just have like a color and you got it nailed down. But on PlayStation.
See, and that's the thing though. The PlayStation 5 controller, none of the buttons have colors. They're all white or black or whatever, gray.
They're all shapes.
They're all just shapes and no colors. So color doesn't even matter anymore.
It's monochrome, or not monochrome. It's what?
Yeah, monochromatic. That's right. Right.
Oh, isn't mono just one color? Well, I guess black and white is monochrome. Like if you like look it up on like a camera, it's like, oh, this is monochrome shot. Then black and white. So yeah. Except for that blue sensor bar.
Right.
Throws it all off. So.
They're going deep into that, the blue being their color. Like, hey, this is our thing. It's going to be on everything. Yeah. But cool. Thank you so much, Sir Prince a lot, for that fun little question there. And hopefully we didn't upset too many of you with my square, rhombus, trapezoid, all the same thing kind of talk there.
Hopefully you're all still listening. He's so wrong.
I want you all to leave comments on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook and Instagram post, Twitter post, letting me know how right I am.
We will read off all the comments, all your arguments on the next episode.
If there's any real mathematicians, is that what they're called? Is that a word?
I don't know, Garrett.
Is that even a word?
You tell me. You're the smart guy.
It's like a magician who does math, a mathematician.
Yeah. And if there's any magicians out there, let us know.
Same thing. For Garrett's magicians and people who do math, it's all the same.
Mathematician. They they make numbers and logic disappear right before your eyes.
If any of you out there know anything to, if any of you did geometry in school, send us a message. Or
if anybody knows geography,
if anyone knows geography, can explain this whole flat Earth thing, because I'm really, really set that the Earth is flat.
Hey, speaking on that, so there's I'm gonna recommend this right now. There's a documentary on Netflix called Flattening the Curve or Chasing the Curve or something like that. It's about flat earthers, and it's an amazing documentary. Okay, it goes through a lot of like the flat Earth thinking and why they think this way, right? And then they start interviewing like actual real scientists, and all the scientists are like, I don't know, they're crazy. And it comes like this other. By the end of it, you realize, look, these people are crazy, but at least these people are trying to find answers. And so it comes to these. There's a black guy, and he's given a speech. He's a scientist, a super smart guy, super smart, and he's like, look, as scientists, it's our duty to help guide these people to truth and facts. He's like, we cannot dismiss them as being crazy or wacko. Like, we need to be the ones reaching out to them and help them find the answers. Like, it's our duty. And I love that because it goes beyond just like what the document. I feel that as just like as a believer, it's like my duty to be one out there reaching for people. You know what I mean? Like, it was super, super excellent documentary. I highly recommend you guys go watch it on Netflix. It's awesome.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. So many times people are just like, they're crazy. Forget them. Like, they're a bunch of idiots. And it's like, if no one ever talks sense to them, they're just going to keep on that crazy train. Like, sometimes they need a little, some good influence in there and talking to them straight up. But cool. Well, that was fun. And now it is time for for the nerdy nudes.
It's now time for the nerdy news or whatever.
Thank you very much for that little jingle. We we didn't even mention it at the beginning of the show, but if you haven't noticed that this far, JJ's not here.
JJ's not here. The video throws us off.
What do you mean? How so?
I get going and I just keep going. I see you and I just think that the audience knows that JJ's not here because I see you and I don't see JJ. I forget that we have an audio listener, which is how I consume the podcast.
Right. Yeah, like people who listen to audio are just like, JJ's being really quiet. You must be feeling sick or something. No, he's just not here. No, he had some family stuff come up, so he stayed home with them tonight, which I was just like, good on you. Do that. You need to take care of your family. Family first before this dumb podcast.
Yep. Always.
But cool. So our first news story is about a delay. Kind of a bummer. Arcane's Deathloop delayed to Q2 2021. So Deathloop, the next game from Prey and Dishonored developer Arcane Studios, has been delayed until Q2 2021. It was previously set to arrive in time for Christmas on PlayStation 5 and PC and be a timed exclusive for Sony's next-gen machine. But in a statement released via Twitter this afternoon, the game's, and this was August 18th, the game's official account said its release was being pushed back in response to delays surrounding the current need to work from home. Their statement reads as follows. We've made the decision to move the launch date of Deathloop to Q2 2021. Our ambition for Deathloop is to deliver a signature Arcane game that takes you to never-before-seen places in a stylish new world. At the same time, the health and safety of everyone in Arcane line remains our top priority. As we've adjusted to work from home, we found that delivering this new and exciting experience at the polish and quality level that defines both an Arcane game and a true next-gen experience is taking longer than normal. This extra time will allow our team to bring Deathloop's world to a life with as much character and fun as you've come to expect from our team. While we know this is the right decision for Deathloop, we share your disappointment and apologize for making you wait even longer. Thank you for the support and excitement. Your positive feedback has helped fuel us as we continue to work from the confines of our home. We can't wait to share more details about Deathloop with you, so keep your eyes open for our next update coming soon. Arcane Line. So yeah, that was it was one of those things where I was super bummed for sure. Deathloop was first announced back in E3 2019. It's for those of you who don't know what the game is about. It's about two assassins, Colt and Juliana, caught in a time loop, fighting each other over and over and over again ad infinitum.
Cool.
They're trapped in a place which was once, it seems, a haven, but now has turned very sour. So yeah, it's one of those things where like, good on them. Like I'm bummed, but I'm also like, if they need to actually make the game good, like, do it.
I never complain about it.
Yeah. It's more just a bummer because we talked about it a little bit earlier in or before the show, but what else do we have to look forward to on PS5 now? Like, Deathloop was kind of it, other than Spider-Man and Bug Snacks. And
which is funny because PlayStation was also like bragging about how they have the best PlayStation lineup in history.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that though is
Ratchet wasn't
companies and not just Sony, like I've seen, other companies do it in the past too, but they talk about like launch window, and their launch window is usually pretty big. Yeah. Like sometimes it's like stretches up to the first year. Like, I've seen Sony talk about it in the past before with other, Nintendo's talked about it, Xbox talked about it. Like everyone talks about this launch window, and it's like, okay, interesting. Like everyone's launch window is a different length of time. But day one, when you first get your PS5, it's like, okay, what do we have? We have Grand Theft Auto 5 and Spider-Man Miles Morales. So,
and Fortnite. Don't forget Fortnite.
And Fortnite, yes, 100% Fortnite. So yeah, I don't know. I was more bummed because of that for sure. And
Control Ultimate Edition, doesn't that come out in that day one too?
Oh yeah, I guess that will be. So if you want to play, some people's games of the year from last year, I know some people gave it Game of the Year. that'll be available next gen. I assume it'll be upgraded, better graphics. But if as long as you're willing to pay for that Ultimate Edition there.
Yeah, I read some crazy stuff about that upgrade, by the way.
I saw another article, and I almost added to the show, but I didn't have a chance to actually read the article, so I didn't. But yeah, I saw there was an update to that whole thing going on.
It wasn't really an update. It was like, basically they came out and said, like, look, we know we disappointed a lot of you guys, but here's a quick FAQ. So yes, if you own the original version of Control, you can play it at a lower res on PS5, but you cannot upgrade to the new one for free.
So there's not even for free. Okay.
So
is there like an upgrade version? Because I know some games will have like pay $15 more, and
they said they couldn't. They said there's no way for them to have an upgrade version. They're like, we tried approaching it at several different angles, and this was the best we could do. Basically, what they said.
And I can tell them how to do it.
It makes no sense.
Basically, you go onto the PlayStation Network and the Xbox Store and put a little entry that just says PS4 to PS5 upgrade, put the price for like $15-$20, and then just attach the PS5 and Xbox Series X files to it, and you're good to go.
No. Well, maybe you should go work for Remedy.
I'll even get on Photoshop and make the little.
It's 505.
505. I'll even get on Photoshop and make the little like square for the store or whatever they need, like whatever graphics. It's easy. I'll jump in Photoshop and just change PS4 to PS5, and you're good to go.
It was ridiculous. Like they were like, we can't, you can't even buy the DLC separate or something like that. It was nuts. Like it was the most convoluted.
That's so bizarre.
Messaging you'll ever hear. Like, it was nuts. I recommend anybody go check that story out, because that story is like, what in the world is? I know you're lying. Like, I know it.
They had to figure out how to make get people off their back somehow. They're like, well, this is straight up lie. That's whatever it takes. Like, we just gotta make it sound like we can't do it, so they stop. Yeah, man. But yeah, so Deathloop. Were you excited for Deathloop? I know I initially was stoked when they first announced it in 2019, and even when they showed some more trailer of it this year at the PS5 reveal event, they showed some more gameplay. I thought it looked pretty cool. It's still, from what I saw there. But have you been hot on it at all, or?
From what I've seen, it's just looked like Dishonored with guns.
Yeah.
Which I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm saying it's not enough to get me like stoked about it. So, I mean.
So here's the deal. I've never played a Dishonored game.
Well, I'm not going to get upset. I've come to expect this from you.
Okay. I've watched my friend play hundreds of hours of Dishonored 1.
Yeah.
See, he owned it and wouldn't let me borrow it or play it. It was on his PS3. So I'd go to his room and he'd like, you can watch. I'm like, okay, cool, dude. Like, whatever. I'd be like, I was like, I live just 2 rooms down. Like, we're in the dorms at school. Like, hey, like, can I just borrow it for like an afternoon? He's like, no, dude, it's mine. He's like, he was obsessed with it. So I've watched a lot of gameplay. Never played it though.
Well, how would I put this? So Dishonored is a great game. I don't think it's on the same level as like a BioShock Infinite. Okay. It was a really fun playthrough, pretty cool story, pretty cool world. It did a lot of unique things, especially in the realm of like choices, and especially getting through the level. You have a lot of options on how you want to approach things. And Dishonored 2 even cranks it up a little bit more. The thing about Dishonored 2 is I feel like Dishonored 2 was really hard. Like, I'm playing it on normal. I'm like, this is darn near impossible. Like, I'm having a really difficult time.
That's crazy.
So I just got out of the Clockwork. Last I remember, I think I just got out of the Clockwork Tower or whatever it was. Mansion.
Dang.
Cool. So, but anyway, Dishonored. It reminded me a lot of Deathloop. So am I excited about Deathloop? No. I mean, I'm kind of cool on it. I'm not like not looking for. I don't think it's a dumb game or going to be a waste of time. But I'm just looking forward to see what the finished product looks like before I actually make any judgments on it. So does
Dishonored have the whole like time loop thing where it's built like because of the whole catch in Deathloop is like you actually are like you play, and then die, and then you'll go like all the way back. And every time you play, you get a little farther and a little farther. You get to do a little better, and you keep dying and starting like you start the day over. It's kind of Groundhog Day kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you just keep doing that over. That's Deathloop. Was Dishonored a similar thing like that or no?
No, but the aesthetic and the way and like traversal and things like that reminded me a lot of Dishonored.
Okay, so more the gameplay stuff. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Cool. I mean, so I'm still looking forward to it. I am kind of bummed it'll be. So this is something else we talked about pre-show, but both of us were kind of like, it's kind of getting iffy if we're actually going to be able to get next gen consoles this year.
I already know I'm not. I already know. I've already decided.
Yeah. Because I know we've talked a lot about like, oh yeah, we're gonna get them, and it's one of those things where, at least for me personally, it's like I have some bigger things going on in life, like having a kid and stuff. It's kind of hard to justify like a potentially $500 game console in a couple months here. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll like get a huge inheritance or find a treasure chest in my backyard with a bunch of gold. Cool. Like, who knows? You never know. Maybe then I can get it. But maybe that sweet stimulus check will come in. I'll just snake like $500 from that.
I really hope there's going to be. I mean, our listeners can agree to disagree. I mean, that's another podcast discussion. Another podcast episode discussion. Anyway. But you could take that money.
I could take that money to buy PS5.
I would be tempted to do that as well.
But at this point, it's like I'm starting to feel I might not be able to get the PS5 this year just because of so much other stuff going on. 2020 has been a crazy year. Like it's not a great year for a console launch. Let me tell you. But so I am bummed.
We still don't even got prices on them.
Is that crazy?
It's
August.
It's almost. It's end of August.
So yeah, we are potentially less than 2 months away, right? Or no, 3 months, November, 3 months away. Still, we're less than 3 months away.
What the heck?
From them coming out. Because it's usually...
And then Xbox... I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you.
I was just going to say, it's usually like, mid-November or something when the consoles come out around that time. So yeah, less than 3 months. We don't know anything. We know nothing. Yeah. So crazy.
And I believe Xbox said they have like another event coming up soon, right? August?
There's supposed to be one in August, and it's August 24th, and we've heard nothing.
Silence.
They did the same thing in July as well. They did that June one, and then they originally said every month there's going to be something, and then like halfway through July, they're like, actually not this month, it'll be next month. And then they did it in, sorry, I had that messed up. They did one in May, because they did that big third-party games thing that was not good, and then there's supposed to be one in June, but they skipped June last minute, like halfway through the month. July, there was the one first party stuff. And then they said August, it'll be new news. And everyone thought it would be pricing and Series X, right? And we haven't heard anything. Nothing.
Nada. Zilch.
It's bizarre.
This has been the weirdest launch year. I mean, on top of being like the weirdest year in general.
Just in general, yeah.
Man. Anyway. Crazy
stuff. Deathloop is coming next year. Next news story here. Oculus VR devices will soon require Facebook accounts. This comes from Ian Walker over at Kotaku. So this was a bummer for a lot of people. The internet was ablaze for a while with this. Starting in October, new users of the Oculus virtual reality gaming platform will need to log in with a Facebook account, the company announced today. And for those of you who don't know, Oculus, the VR headset, Oculus is actually owned by Facebook. Like they've owned them for quite a few years now. 2014, Facebook purchased Oculus for $2 billion in 2014. Current users will need to merge their Oculus accounts with a Facebook account within the next 2 years to maintain the quote-unquote full functionality of their systems after January 1st, 2023. So if you currently have an Oculus, you do have a couple years before you need to upgrade to, or downgrade, depending on how you look at it, to a Facebook account.
You sacrifice your soul.
Yeah, right.
Or you sell your soul.
Or if you are planning to buy one, what I would recommend is right now, even if you don't own one, just go make an Oculus account. And then you at least have 2 years to not have to link your Facebook, right? Because you don't have to have an Oculus to make an Oculus account.
The Oculus, you just said it, is owned by Facebook. So yeah, Facebook already owns.
They already have your information.
Through Oculus.
Newsflash. They already have it.
So it doesn't matter. I don't know why people are so upset about it.
Yeah, so it turns out the
Oh, no,
kind
I
of
do
people.
know one. Sorry, go ahead.
It turns out the kind of people willing to shell out hundreds of dollars on virtual reality headsets aren't the biggest Facebook users. So the move was always going to cause some friction. In the years since, Facebook's meddling with the gaming platform has been minimal, but this announcement marks a dramatic shift in the relationship. Today's news was immediately met with pushback from the Oculus community. We know about all this. Let's see here if there's any. Oh, when Kotaku asked Oculus about the user response, a representative simply pointed towards the official announcement about its potential benefits. So basically, Kotaku's like, "Hey, Oculus, everyone hates this. What's your statement on what do you think about that?" And they're just like, "Oh, we're giving people a single way to log into Oculus using their Facebook account and password. We'll make it easier to find, connect, and play with friends in VR. We know that social VR has so much more to offer, and this change will make it possible to integrate many of the features people know and love on Facebook." So basically, they dodged the question and was just like, we're just going to reiterate exactly what we already said in our original statement.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a bummer. It's one of those things where I don't necessarily super care. I already have a Facebook account. And I mean, I prefer not to link Facebook to things. Like I borrowed my friend's Oculus. I made an Oculus account. I used my email address. I want it to be quote unquote separate.
Yeah, you really dodged it. Good job.
But it's one of those things where, again, like in 2 or 3 years, if say I end up buying my own Oculus headset, I don't know. For me personally, I'm like, okay, whatever. Like Facebook already has all my information because I already have a Facebook account and I've already shared way too much with them for the past 10 years or 13 years, however long I've had it. With a lot of people, though, what I've seen online is they don't even have Facebook accounts. And so they'd have to create a Facebook account to use their Oculus. Like that seems kind of crazy.
Pretty messed up.
It's
said to unlock the full functionality. So
full functionality.
I mean, that could maybe if all your games are on Steam, you still use the headset to access the Steam environment without using the.
Yeah, I imagine so. Yeah, I imagine you can do that. But when like what they're talking about here, I feel like what they keep reiterating, both on the original statement and then this other statement in response to the user response, was they're making a big deal about the social VR aspect. Now, my question to you, you've had a VR headset, an Oculus headset, longer than I have. How often do you play multiplayer games in VR?
So I play multiplayer games about once a month with
Okay.
John Shibika. Remember we had him on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Him and I get down on Echo VR probably about like once a month or something like that. So
okay, so that's more often than I thought you were gonna say. Because in my head, like when I had PSVR, I never played online with people. Since I've gotten this, I mean, I only have 2 games, but I haven't played any. I think I downloaded Echo Arena because you told me to. It's free. You're just like, hey, download it, and then like I haven't touched it. But I've never played a multiplayer game other than Rigs. Rigs, it was a PSVR game. I played it for 2 minutes, got horribly motion sick, and deleted the game immediately because that game is horrible. I never get motion sick in VR except for Rigs. Destroyed me. I thought I was sick the rest of the day. I was like, I can't do that again. It was a bad game. Poorly designed game. But I just feel like, I don't know. Is that really going to be I guess we'll have to wait 2 years and see, or I guess 2 months, October. But I'm curious what they mean by full functionality. Like, do you think it's just friend list, or what else do you think it could possibly be? Like, do you think they'll actually limit? Oh, okay. Like, you think they'll lock out store and stuff?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, if everything's attached to your Facebook account, similar to like PSN Network or Xbox Live.
Yeah, that's true.
So you would need. That's how I kind of see it going down. Like that just makes the most sense to me. Just having it all in one account instead of having multiple accounts for the same platform.
Mm-hmm.
But the real reason people are so upset about this is when Oculus first came out, right? It was ran by Palmer Luckey, right? And Palmer, when he made the decision to sell to Facebook, everybody that had backed him, remember it was a Kickstarter campaign.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody that had backed him was really ticked off at him. It was like, dude, we didn't back you so you can sell all of basically take our money and then give it all to Facebook or
make $2 billion.
Make $2 billion off of us. You know what I mean? So like they're like, especially to Facebook of all people, because they all know how crooked Zuckerberg is, you know?
And that
And
was,
so,
years ago. We already knew how bad Facebook was. If only they knew what was going to happen today.
well, Palmer, like, he got snubbed basically by Facebook, got pushed out of his own company, doesn't even work there anymore. And so it just kind of makes sense, the natural progression of things for Zuckerberg to kind of go back on this promise as well. So yeah, that's why people are so upset. It wasn't that, I'm sure they all saw the writing on the wall. They all knew, if they were really paying attention, they knew this was a move that Facebook could eventually make, which is why they were so afraid of it in the first place.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it sucks, yes, but there are a lot of other great headsets out there that do a lot of the same stuff. So they do it a little differently. They might be a little more expensive, more pricey. I mean, the Oculus is a great headset for the price. I love it.
Yeah. Have you used some of the other headsets? Like, have you used the HTC Vive and anything like that? Okay.
The only headset I've used with PlayStation VR, and I was not impressed.
Okay. Yeah, the PSVR is the only one I've used too. And for me, being my first one, I was extremely impressed because I wasn't expecting much for the price. Like, it's so cheap. It's just like, it's not going to be that great, right? And I was like, oh, wow, no, this is really good for how cheap it is. And all you do, like, you don't have to have a supercomputer. You just plug in your PlayStation. Like, okay, that's good enough for me. But dude, yeah, since playing Oculus, I'm like, yeah, this thing is so good for the price. Like, it's such a good deal. But yeah, I don't know. For me, yeah, I've already said it's whatever. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. But who knows? Maybe in a couple of years, there'll be another VR company that comes out with a better headset. It's better priced and don't even have to worry about this.
Yeah.
Sure. At this point, if I'm not buying a PS5, I'm not buying an Oculus either. So let's just get that straight. So for me, this doesn't really affect me for, who knows how long. Could be years. I have two kids, 2 years and younger. So I probably won't be buying too many fun things the next few years. Cool. Let's get into the fun stuff now. So this weekend was DC Fandom, which, dude, that was like 24 hours of pretty much just like full throttle, top-notch announcements, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like nonstop. All I saw on Twitter was people being like, whoa, DC's bringing the heat. Like, check this out. Check out this trailer. Check out this artwork. Check out this. I was like, holy crap. Like, they went hard for like 24 straight hours. And it was, I don't think I saw anything that was like, like everything was like, oh, okay. That's awesome. That's cool. I'm in. DC really brought it. But we generally talk more video game centric stuff, but did you see the Batman trailer?
Yes. Did I see the Batman trailer? Yes. Oh my gosh.
Dude.
I was like so jazzed watching that trailer. I was like, this, I had no doubt. Like, there was no doubts in me when I knew. First of all, when I first had my doubts about Ben Affleck, I was like, well, not Ben Affleck, please not Ben. And then I watched him in Argo, and I was like, he's actually a good actor. And I'm like, he might be do okay in Batman, and he did a great job as Batman. So ever since then, I'm like, I don't really care who plays him. When they announced Robert Pattinson, I was like, Robert Pattinson's a great actor. He's been in some crappy movies. Well, crappy movie, quadrilogy or whatever it was, the Twilight series. But the art in that movie looks great. The action in that movie looks great. Pattinson as Batman looks great. The suit looks great.
That final scene, even like when he
Vengeance.
That scene. We were all expecting that I'm Batman, and then he's like, I'm vengeance. Like, yes. Oh, it's so good. But no, even like the final scene when he has the mask, he's still wearing the suit, has a mask off, his hair's all crazy, like the eyeshadow, and he like slowly looks up all like emo, like, I'm like, yeah, this is my kind of movie. Emo Batman going on. I saw someone tweeted, it made me laugh so way too hard. Like, I shouldn't have laughed this hard, but it was that picture. And they just, in the caption, they just wrote, the Gerard Way, My Chemical Romance. It was the first couple lines of Black Parade. And it says, when I was a young boy, my father took me to the city to see a marching band. I was like, oh, yes, perfect. It's totally Gerard Way. Oh, man. No, but I doubted it because my only experience with Robert Pattinson is the first Twilight movie. Which I've told the story on the show, I don't know, last year, summer. It's been a while, but my parents saw a new vampire movie came out, and we're like, oh, this looks awesome. This will be fun to watch with the boys. And like me and my brother, like not knowing anything what it was. They saw it's called Twilight, and there's vampires in it. It's going to be cool. It's going to be like some, because I think we'd recently watched like Underworld, which is awesome. It's an awesome vampire movie. We got Twilight. None of us knew anything about it. Like I didn't know anything about it either. Like I was, back then, just this dumb, stupid, nerdy kid, played video games all the time. And when we started up, we were just like, what the heck is this? Like Twilight, it was not what we expected. When we immediately returned the rental, we literally drove back to the rental store and like, we're exchanging this to get something else. This is bad. But anyways, that's my only experience with them. It was like, this is a really bad, crappy movie, like really stupid. But all I've heard is like how awesome some of his other movies are. So now I really want to go and watch some of these other movies he's been in. Cause like The Lighthouse just came out last year. That was supposed to be incredible. Good Time was another one I heard about. Like he's had quite a few pretty good movies. And so I was like, okay, maybe I need some more Robert Pattinson in my life because he looks pretty dope in the new Batman movie.
Dude.
Anyway. But yeah, so yeah, let's get into this new story here about Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights revealed a next-gen Batman game without the Batman. So Gotham Knights has been long leaked and rumored, and now we have not one but 2 trailers and plenty of info. The game isn't slated for a release until 2021 and is heading to both current-gen and next-gen systems, which is awesome. Because again, we were talking about how, okay, we're probably not going to be buying PS5 and Xbox Series X. We'll be able to play this one because it'll be coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC. It's an open world game where, following Bruce Wayne's alleged death, a group of 4 heroes takes on the Batman's mantle to fight a new wave of supercrime in Gotham City. Players can play as Batgirl, Nightwing, Robin, and Red Hood in either solo or 2-player online co-op in what appears to be a truly gorgeous open world spanning all 5 of Gotham's boroughs. Each character will have their own mode of travel, semi-flight for Batgirl, teleportation for Robin, etc. And can also make use of the Bat Cycle, which is hopefully much more fun than the Batmobile from Arkham Knight.
I like the Batmobile from Arkham Knight. People need to shut up about how bad they hated the Arkham. I'm like, get, what do you want?
I didn't mind the Batmobile either.
It's so fun.
Played a good chunk of it. I didn't finish it, but I played a good chunk. I'm like, this isn't that bad. Like, it's kind of fun. I've blown stuff up. It's great. Running people over. It's just the whole thing like Batman doesn't kill people, and then you're just like, and like running them over. I'm like, yeah, he's dead. He's dead. They're definitely dead. They were which was used mainly to fight Overlong. Oh, that's talking about Arkham Knight, whatever. So yeah, that. Oh, and this is the cool thing. There's a link to the trailer, but it mentions that this trailer introduces a villainous cohort of Gotham Knights, the Court of Owls. So we're jumping into some Court of Owls as the main bad guy. There's a gameplay trailer which features Batgirl and Robin on a Mr. Freeze mission. That's pretty sweet. And then there's more descriptions of each of the characters if you want to do some Googling around. We used the Forbes article written by Eric Kane, but there's actually a little rundown of each character, which is kind of cool. So yeah, it's Batgirl, Nightwing, Red Hood, Robin. Now, let me do that Googling, because earlier in the show I mentioned that this is a game I was talking about that's not in the Arkham Asylum City.
I read that it was.
So let me look.
Terrible at comprehension.
Gotham
Math is clearly my strong suit.
Right. Yeah, you sent me. You can only be so good at so many things, and I think math was probably the limit, and then shapes, and then Batman is my thing. Apparently,
it is not your thing. That's for dang sure.
Just kidding. Gotham Knights.
You want to go there again? Do you want to go there again, Garrett?
No, I do not. Gotham Knights in Arkham World. Let me see. So according to VG 24/7, though Gotham Knight's name and setting might suggest otherwise, the game is not actually set in the Arkhamverse. It was easy to assume Gotham Knights is a continuation of the and this came out just today, Monday, at 9:03 GMT, whatever that means. Gotham Knights is a continuation of the Arkham universe, particularly Batman Arkham Knight. The reveal trailer starts with a posthumous message from Batman. No, it says it's not, though. At the top, it says it's not, and then it's easy to assume that. It's about to explain why. Let me see. Here. Developer WB Games Montreal, however, has since clarified that Gotham Knights does not follow on from any existing games and is set in its own DC universe. Gotham Knights is an original story set in DC's Batman universe and not connected to the Arkham series, the studio confirmed to Comic Book in a statement. Although it's a little disappointing, it makes sense that they didn't want to be shackled with the expectation that came with creating something new in an existing and beloved universe of characters.
Hey, got news for you. That expectation is there already.
Yeah, everyone. I mean, I assumed it was connected. I mean, they made Arkham Origins, which was connected to the Arkhamverse. Why wouldn't this game be connected?
Why? It just feels like a cop-out.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
It's almost like it almost makes me wonder if there's something in the game that they're afraid people are going to be bummed about, and instead of tainting the Arkhamverse, they're just like, let's just make it its own separate thing.
You know what it is? I bet you they bring the Joker back, and if you stick to the original 3, you can't. Spoilers. But yeah, you can't.
Yeah. It does have a very different art design, I feel like, too.
What? No, it does not.
Arkham Knights?
Yeah, it looks hecka the same.
Does it?
Hecka the same. Wow, that's a sentence. But yeah, it looks very similar.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I feel like there's just like a little bit more real.
You mean it's been up-resed since the last game? The
last game but even
like forever ago.
Even like the designs of like, I guess I need to take a closer look at the Mr. Freeze. I just felt like in the Arkham series, some of the villains, like, you know, you look at the Joker, you look at Mr. Freeze, look at some of these guys, like there is like a little bit of a cartoony-ishness to them. Like they look real, but there's also just like caricature, I guess. Like they look real, but there's like certain aspects of them that are just like, oh, it's a little wonky, like Joker's face being just all long and weird and comic booky. Where this, like even like there's just like there's a really high res picture of one of the people from the Court of Owls or something, and even just like the shape of the Batgirl, Nightwing, Robin, all these characters, like I feel like there's just a little more like human.
Yeah, but the color palette,
less caricature of it. Oh yeah, no, color palette looks exactly the same. But I just feel like there's less of like a caricature of each of the characters, and more like now we're just making like a live action video game kind of thing. But I could be wrong. That's the thing. We don't know until we get the game, probably in a few more, like next year sometime. Yeah. But I'm stoked. This looks super awesome.
It goes co-op, they said, but it doesn't go couch co-op, which I'm disappointed.
Yeah, couch co-op, and then they introduce 4 characters, but then you can only do 2-player co-op.
Yeah, like what the heck?
Why can't you do 4-player co-op? I feel like that's a huge missed opportunity there to have like the whole gang fighting together. Robin, Red Hood, Nightwing, Batgirl, throw them all in there. But
yeah, I disagree with some of these design choices. They're right out of the gate, you know?
Yeah.
But will it be fun? I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun to play single player. I know the progression system for each character is going to be a little weird, but we'll see how they do it. I mean, they each level up their own rate. So I hope it's not like, you know, you get super far in the game, but you've only played as Batgirl and you want to go switch back to Red Hood, and now you got to
do a bunch of side missions to catch up.
Like, man, well, if you missed your opportunity, you should have been playing as all 4 of them the entire time to keep it all balanced. So we'll see how they do handle that progression system.
I wonder if it'll almost be more like I don't know why this is the game that popped in my head, but Diablo-esque thing where you make a character, you pick your character, and that's who you play as a whole game. Like, have they said that you can hot swap in the middle of the game?
I mean, I could be wrong because apparently I'm not good at listening, but I believe they said that you can switch between the characters throughout the game.
Okay. I feel like I heard that too, but yeah, that doesn't make sense with the progression, like you're saying. Like that just doesn't. I don't know how that works. Like that would suck to get 30 hours in with Robin and then be like, I'm gonna play as Red Hood now. Like, he's level 2. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But all right. Yeah. I mean, either way, this looks awesome. The trailer was awesome. Like just watching the world premiere trailer. So I only watched a little bit of the gameplay walkthrough. I want to finish that up. But the world premiere trailer, I'm like, oh boy, this looks so stinking cool.
Yeah.
It got me so hyped. But and then the second video game announcement that was made on Saturday was Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League. was officially revealed with just like a CG trailer, so no gameplay or anything like that. This is set to expected to arrive in 2022, and it's only going to be PS5, Series X, and PC. So it's not going to be on current gen consoles, and it's a couple years out still. And this one's come from Rocksteady. So that other game was WB Games, which did WB Montreal, which did Arkham Origins, and then Rocksteady. They're the ones that did, Arkham Asylum, City, and Night. And this is the one that's actually part of the Arkham universe, which surprised me. Like, I feel like that should be the other way around. Like, this one could easily have not been part of an Arkham universe at all. Especially, so again, like I told you, I played a good chunk of Arkham Knight, never finished it. Superman's not in that game, right?
I don't think anybody from the Justice League or anything outside the Batman universe is in it.
Okay, because I feel like
I played through all three.
Yeah, I feel like in any of the three games, I don't remember them ever mentioning anything about any other superhero. But all of a sudden in Suicide Squad, it's called Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. And in the reveal trailer, there's evil Superman. So it's like, okay, Superman's in it. I assume the rest of the Justice League is in it. It just seems so weird to so out of left field. Like, hey, this is the one that's part of the Arkham universe. And by the way, all these heroes have been here the whole time. We've just never talked about them in the 3 games we've done. Like, it just seems kind of like, oh, okay, cool, I guess. I don't know.
I think in the, you pick up like audio diaries and stuff like that. They make mention of the other superheroes that way, but you don't see them.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I never heard those, but maybe I just didn't pick up enough audio diaries.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if they did that, that makes sense. Like, if they at least reference them. But boy, this trailer, this honestly didn't do it for me. So I talked about this on, if you haven't gone and checked out the episode I was on of the Super Best Friend Video Game Sleepover podcast, we talked about when they first put out the poster for this. That didn't really do it for me, because, and honestly, I have no history with Suicide Squad. My only history was the movie, which was bad. And then for that poster to come out, I'm like, okay, not feeling it. And then this video, even still, I'm like, whew, yeah, still not really feeling it. Like, there's something about just that sense of humor with like these weird, like, I feel like the villains are too weird and the humor's too off the wall that I was just like, I am not feeling this at all. Go ahead.
The game felt like that was the same game to me. I'm like, oh, so it's another Batman game. You get to play as 4 different individuals. You level them all up individually or whatever. They didn't really announce any of those types of details, but it just felt, I think they did announce this one actually does go 4-player.
Yeah, I think they did say that.
But my real question is, I wonder if they're attempting to annualize the Arkham franchise. You got Gotham Knights comes out 2021, and then Suicide Squad comes out 2022, which both studios have been quiet for quite a while, so maybe they've kind of like pulled an Assassin's Creed. I don't think they're as big a studio as what Ubisoft is, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just interesting. I don't know. It'd be kind of cool.
I mean, we won't know until, another year or two from now, and if they announce one in 2023. Because if they don't announce one for 2023, then that's probably not it. I mean, so I'm looking at the release dates for Arkham Origins and Arkham Knight, and they're almost pretty close to being back to back. Like, one was 13 and then one was 15, and then we haven't gotten either of those games for what, they were from 5 years to 7 years, depending on if you're WB or so. I don't know if they'll necessarily be annualizing it. Like, we won't know that until 2022 probably, and they announced whatever's coming in 2023, unfortunately.
Right.
But yeah. But yeah, I'm reading here 1 to 4 player co-op. You're right. So you can play. It's an action adventure shooter. Now, that do you take that to probably mean it's going to be more like a more linear game, or do you think it's going to be more like a open world like Arkham or Gotham Knights, or a third option that I feel like would almost fit it? No, maybe not. I was going to say it would fit it better, but no, it wouldn't. I almost was thinking like, oh, what if it's like a Left 4 Dead kind of feel to it, where it's just like, almost do this like you run through the level, but there's like hordes you're fighting through and stuff like that. Because that's what they kept showing in that trailer, was just like all the purple dudes running around that they're just beating the crap out of. But
no,
that doesn't
like,
really work.
No, I think it's gonna be more like a Borderlands style.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Where you have like your main mission, you have your side missions, you have this big map, and you can run around with your buddies and go do it all, loot stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. That makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. This game, I'm really curious what it's gonna turn out to be. Because we even got so something else that's not video game related but movie related. We got the announcement of the Suicide Squad, so like the reboot movie, because they're basically pretending Suicide Squad never happened, and they're coming out with this reboot directed by James Gunn. And even that, like, I'm stoked. I love James Gunn, like, and his stuff, but even with that announcement, I'm like again, there's just something about Suicide Squad. It just really rubs me the wrong way with what Suicide Squad can bring to the table and what my likes and dislikes are. Like, it just like doesn't mesh at all. Like, it's just not there. I'm like, I want to like it, but I just, there's something about it I can't. Like, when we got those announcement for what was going to be in the movie, seeing this trailer, I'm like, it's just not my thing. I don't know what it is. Can't put my finger on it.
Oh, I don't like rooting for the bad guys. That's why I don't like it. I know the bad guys are going after bad guys, and they're controlled by bad guys. So, like, everybody's bad. That's why I'm like, I don't even care.
Yeah. I don't know. It's strange thing, but and also this seems so crazy. Again, like we were talking about, the last game Rocksteady put out was 2015. What have they been doing for? That's going to take them 7 years to do this. Like, this seems so crazy. Yeah. Like, was there just a really tumultuous start there? Was it really that bad? Or because that's what worries me the most, is like, if they started in like 2016, and if it's taking this long to develop it, that means they've had a lot of road bumps and hiccups. I'm really scared like it could be even worse off than what we are all thinking right now. And I know we're in the minority too, because I've seen a lot of people online, like on Twitter, like, oh, I'm so stoked for Suicide Squad. It looks awesome. Looks like so much fun.
For some reason, people like rooting for bad people. It's like, yeah, you get to be bad. I remember being a kid and everybody was like, oh man, the bad guys are my favorite. I'm like, why are the bad guys be your favorite? They lose. The bad guys lose. They're terrible people. They're selfish. They're ruining everybody's lives. Why would you want that? I don't understand what's admirable about that. They're all in it for themselves. Like,
depends on who the bad guy is. It depends on who the bad guy is.
They're all bad. They're ruining. At some point, there's a reason why they're bad, and they're trying to be stopped. There's a reason why the good guys are trying to stop them. It's not because they're philanthropic. Like,
I mean, you never know. Maybe they're just, everyone can change. You never know. They could be good one day. Wow, your video froze at just a perfect time. You were doing such a perfect eye roll, and then your video froze, so it looked like you were having like a seizure, like eyes rolling to the back of your head.
I was having a seizure, Garrett. I was having a seizure.
I'm
Stupid
sorry.
comment you just made.
I feel like I do that to you a lot.
You do it on purpose.
It's just too easy. Yeah, well, that's all I have for the news this week. Do you have anything else you want to throw in there last minute? Spring on me here?
No.
Nothing? Okay. Cool. Well, let's get into our Patreon ad, where we talk about how awesome our Patreon is. Alrighty, guys. So we are going to talk about patreon.com/supergamerboys, where you can go and support us for just $1 a month. That's right, $1 a month, and you get our episodes early, ad-free. And we also have our $5 tier. You can get that perk as well as show notes. You get the show notes, so you actually know what we're going to be talking about. sometimes the same day if I don't get them done over the weekend like I'm supposed to. But either way, you usually get a notification to your email letting you know when I upload those, and then you can leave your comments on there. And if you ever want to leave a comment about a news article we're going to do, or if you could see like, oh, Garrett's been playing Fall Guys, I want to put in my 2 cents, go ahead and leave a comment on the doc. I don't know if, well, you know that, but you can leave the comment straight on the doc. So that way, when I pull up my Google Doc, I'll have your name there, and I can read it on the show and share your thoughts and opinions on the news and games that we're playing. We also have the $10 tier that gets you the shout out on the show. That's our sponsor tier. And again, we just love our sponsors. We've mentioned before, Bill Bird, Julie Bates, Dustin Long, Brent Fox, Daniel James. You guys are killer. Thank you so much for supporting us for so long. And then on the Patreon producer tier, that is our top dog tier. And right now we have the best Patreon producer, Adrian Homeboy Holmes. And you get all the perks we talked about before, as well as you get our ear. We are your puppets. Right, Zech?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. We do whatever he says. Adrian, that's actually the real reason JD isn't on the show today. Adrian said he didn't want him on the show, and he's not here.
Yeah.
Hopefully he lets him come back next week. Who knows, though? You never know. Depends on how Adrian's feeling.
We're at the mercy of Adrian.
We're at the mercy of Adrian. So if you are interested in any of those things, and we've been batting around some ideas. We've talked about giveaways. If the more people support us there, you have more access to giveaways, or at least you can help provide for giveaways on our social media feeds. And who knows, maybe down the road there'll be some bonus shows. I know we've talked about that in years past. I think that's even a Patreon goal. If we had a certain amount a month, we were going to add a new show. We haven't hit that goal, but we've been talking about coming up with some bonus shows to give you guys more value in the Patreon support there. So stay tuned. Keep listening to these ads, because you'll be the first to know when those sweet Patreon perks come out. Or you can just support us, and then you get the straight emails too. That works. Just go support us. It's for your own good. Trust me. Alrighty, let's get back to the show. Okay, so we have some new releases. There is just kind of 3 that really stood out to me this last week. The first one, Zetch's favorite game, Battletoads. Came out on Xbox One and PC on August 20th. There was such varying reviews on this. I feel like on one place I saw like a 9 out of 10, and then like Game Informer gave it a 5 out of 10. And I love, hang on, I gotta bring it up real quick actually. Okay. I know you've said that before, but yeah, I've never seen such the snarky comment here. So they give it a 5 out of 10, and their first line is, even though it's technically a game, like, and then comma, like, and they go on from there. I'm like, they didn't even have to say anymore. Like, they could have just said that. And I'm like that could have been their whole review based off, like, I read a little bit more of it. I'm like, they just keep kind of saying the same thing over and over again. Like, they keep saying it's technically a game, but it's not a good time. Like, they weren't fans of it, but I just thought that was so funny. I saw it in my Instagram feed. I'm like, oh shoot, shots fired at Battletoads. But again, then other people are like 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, fun game. I know some of the people the other podcast I listen to, like I listen to some kind of funny stuff. They did not enjoy it, at least when they played previews last year. I haven't heard their updated thoughts on it, in the past week, but I know like they're like, it was when they played at E3 last year, like, it's a bad game. Like, it's really not good. So I'm curious to see what their feelings, how it's changed. New Super Lucky's Tale came out on PS4 and Xbox One, and then Vader Immortal is now available on PlayStation VR. So all you PSVR owners who have missed out on the Oculus exclusive, it was Oculus exclusive, right?
Yep, I have it.
Yeah. Then it's available to you now. Actually, my buddy's doing some game sharing with the Oculus right now, because he had purchased them, all 3 Vader Immortal episodes, and because I'm borrowing his headset, and I just made my own account. He's like, dude, just let me log in, and then you can play all my games. I'm like, good point.
Nice.
He's like, I'm not using my VR headset because you have it. I'm like, good point. So I have those 3 episodes to get through at some point, and I'm stoked. I love Star Wars so much.
We need to race through Half-Life Alyx, you and I, and finish it up for the year ends.
Yeah, we'll see. I think I have not played it since I finished the first chapter. So
what?
Yeah, I had a baby.
Garrett, don't. You had that baby like recently? You've had that headset for like 3 months.
No. I got the headset the end of July.
Oh, so in July.
Maybe half.
So you had a baby last
beginning of August. Beginning of August 4th.
Yeah, you've had plenty of time to at least get through the next chapter of Half-Life Alyx.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's true.
But I've been spending all my time painting my little Warhammer guys. Look how sweet they're looking.
Cool, dude. Real cool.
Hey, you like my picture on Instagram.
At least you're now being honest. Yeah. That's an actual excuse. I'll take that over. Oh, I just had a baby. You can't do anything. Yeah, whatever, man. You can't fool me.
That's actually one of the new podcasts we're going to come out with. I'm just going to talk about Warhammer for an hour and a half.
You totally
could. Cool. Well, Zetch, JJ's not here. So what have you been playing?
Okay, so first of all, I want to touch on Battletoads because I actually did play that.
Yeah, it's on Game Pass. I downloaded it on PC. It's on PC Game Pass. I haven't touched it though yet.
Here's the deal with that game. I saw some clips of it like on Twitter, and like the main bad guy like flips off the toads and then like tells the toads to like eat her butt, and then like bends over and like does this like very vulgar motion with her butt cheeks. I'm like,
what the heck?
I am so disappointed. I wanted to play this game in front of my kids. And so I waited for them to go to bed and I played through some of it. And yeah, the humor in that game is so terrible and tasteless and vulgar. I'm like, I don't like that game solely for the writing alone. Like the gameplay in it is all right, I guess. It feels like a beat 'em up. And I don't know. It's beat 'em ups have never really been my jam.
Yeah, but me neither. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like I remember playing Double Dragon when I was a kid. I remember playing like, Final Fight on PlayStation, but they never really clicked with me. And so this game didn't click with me on that sense. But I was just so disappointed because like it could be funny, like it could be good if it wasn't so gross. I'm like, this is not the. I mean, I know Rare did Conker's Bad Fur Day back in the day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I wanted Banjo-Kazooie humor, okay? I wanted something that I can play in front of my kids and laugh and have a good time. And this was not that, and it was really disappointing. I haven't put in my 4 hours to really kind of give it a solid review, but I'm just going to say right out the gate that it is going to be really difficult for me to reach that threshold because of how much I don't like how it did not meet my expectations. That's really where it hurts. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad game. It's bad in the sense that its humor is gross and vulgar, and I don't think it's just not what it should be, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
I'm trying to think. What was the original one?
Battletoads?
Rated.
Original Battletoads?
Yeah.
They didn't really they rarely had ESRB ratings back then.
Because I'm just curious, like, if it's something that's like consistent through all their games, or if this is just a new one.
ESRB ratings didn't hit until Night Trap came out on the Genesis. So
do you remember? NES game. Do you remember playing? Right. Do you remember playing the original one at all, or no?
Yeah, I do. It wasn't like I don't even remember there being any writing in it. It was just you just plop down into a stage as one of the toads, and you fight your way through the stage.
Right. Rash, zits, and pimple.
Yeah. Anyway, other than that, I've been playing Fall Guys. My brother bought me Fall Guys. He's really excited about it.
Did you? What platform?
PC.
Yeah, I recently just picked it up on PC because I got it for free on PlayStation by some buddies who were like, I've been hanging out with one of my buddies who's been streaming a bunch, and he's like, hey, we need another guy for Fall Guys. Join us. So I was like, okay, $20. I got it for free on PlayStation. I feel like I need to support the developer a little bit. And yeah, you go ahead and talk about it, but I'll talk about more.
Oh yeah, we can just both hash it out right now. But yeah, so basically my feelings on it so far. I mean, this is another game that I haven't given my take what I review as with a grain of salt, because I haven't really given it enough time to really have a solid opinion of like, yeah, I never want to play this game again. It's fun. I can see why a lot of people are really obsessed with it, because it is a very simple concept. The stages are really well crafted. The color palette's really fun and vibrant and kind of whimsical. And it is a lot of fun to play with your friends. Like, I played it with my brother, and I like to give my brother a bad time. You can actually watch me play with him on one of his streams. But it's good, and I don't know. Will I play it more? Maybe. If someone invites me to play, I'll totally jump in and play around with you. Mm-hmm. But it's not something that I see myself like itching just to fire up and play by myself. Yeah. You know, in the context of it being like a fun nerd dad game, yeah, I think that. And by nerd dad game, I mean like games that are easy for dads to play.
Definitely family friendly.
It's definitely family friendly. It's really easy to pop in and out of. You know, matches aren't really that long. So it's a good game. It's a solid game from what I've played. I'll probably play a little bit more. Just find it, if I figure out if I actually truly think it's going to be worth my time. But yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, so I mentioned last week how like I was not having it, and I solely just played it alone, and it was mostly because of team challenges. I love the singular challenges. I could just rush through it. I was killer at it, run through there. I'm awesome. Yeah, cool. I made it to the end, top 10, whatever. And you get to a team challenge and everyone's just trolling. I'm like, this sucks. This is so stupid.
Yep.
Playing with friends, because that's what I did. I jumped on my buddy's stream as 4 of us. And again, like teams are bigger than 4, so there's still a bunch of there's still going to be trolls and other craziness. But being able to like laugh and goof off, or even if you get knocked out, like watching them, like spectating them while they're playing, like I was having such a blast doing it. I'm like, okay, like, yeah, this is how I'm going to play it. I'm never going to touch this game unless my friend's like, hey, want to play Fall Guys? And I'm like, yes, like, sure, I'm in. Yeah, 100%. Like, I really enjoyed that. So exactly kind of my suspicion last week was true. Like, yeah, it's a much more fun game with friends when you can just chit chat on Discord and talk about random stuff that has nothing to do with Fall Guys, and then when something hilarious or stupid happens in the game, like laugh about it together, like, did you see that? Like, I don't know, we were just having a blast. So I'm all about it now, as long as I'm playing it with someone. I think it's fairly good game for that. You know, I wish it could grab me more on the singular aspect, because it's like, okay, like there's so much about it I do like, but those things I don't like when you're alone are so horrible. I'm just like, I can't even bring myself to turn it on if I'm playing solo.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah. No, same. But yeah, because I played it a little bit tonight by myself, and I was like before we started the podcast, just so I can get more of an opinion on it, and I'm like, yeah, this is more of a fun hangout game than a single player game.
Yeah, it's fun hanging out with friends, and it's definitely like the perfect like stream game. Like people can watch you just like fall through these stupid stages that they have, like as like these loosey goosey old jelly beans flopping around. Yeah. So bizarre. But
I think that's what I don't like about the game, is I feel like the game cheats.
The lack of physics.
It like, no, I really legitimately feel that sometimes like that game goes out of its way to screw me, rather than like me losing to another player. I feel like I lose to the game, and I hate that. It feels so unjust, and I'm like, I mean, totally had that jump, but for some reason the game thought I slipped somewhere, and now the distance I jumped last time doesn't count for the distance I'm going to jump this time when it counts. Like that makes me mad.
The only reason like I've been able to justify that and like be okay with it is because they're like one of their biggest influences in the game. I think I mentioned this last week, was like Wipeout, the TV show, which you watch Wipeout and so many times you're like, come on, you're like, he should have been able to make that. Like, what the heck? That jump, that wasn't that far. But like the guy totally misses, and like, what the heck? Like, why didn't he grab that ledge? Like, what the heck? And I feel like that's exactly Fall Guys. It's something that's like, that's so easy. I can make that jump. Thump, you fall down the crack. What the heck? Like, I should have been able to make that. Like, so with that, in that respect, yeah, I definitely feel ya. But for me, I can just justify it as, well, it's exactly what they're going for. Like, that was their influence, is these game shows, you know, like Wipeout, where the guy totally should have been able to make it, and for some reason they just totally slip and fall into the pool underneath, you know, the obstacle course or whatever they're doing. So I was like, okay, like, kind of find the silliness and stupidness in it. But yeah, I'm again like playing alone, That's when it gets frustrating, when you're like with a bunch of friends and your friend's the one who grabbed you and threw you in the pit. Like, that's hilarious. Like, that's what happened to me, is my buddy would like grab me and throw me down. Like, no, what the heck?
I hate
like that type of stuff.
It makes me so mad. I'm like, we're trying to win. I play to win.
Yeah, no. Fall Guys, not the game you play to win. It's the game you play to screw around.
Yeah. But other than the Fall Guys, I've been playing Beat Saber. They dropped the new Linkin Park music pack. Nice. So now me, my wife, my kids, it's like most of what we've been doing on the weekends has been playing. Except this last weekend. We played it a lot the weekend before. This last weekend we didn't. But yeah, it's right after we got it. It's a really good music pack. I highly recommend anybody that owns Beat Saber, go get that music pack. You won't be disappointed. Every track on there is really good. Really, really good. There's like 11 songs for $13.99. And yeah, and they're all like your favorites. Like, they're all great picks. Like, there's not a single song on there I'm like, I would never want to play that song. They're all really good. Like, and they're all really, so we play on Expert Plus, my wife and I. And so like they're all like
psychopaths over there.
They're pretty hard. There's only been a couple songs on Expert Plus that we've been able to beat. Some of the songs even on Expert are pretty hard to beat. So I should give you some context, but it's super good music pack. My arms are so sore again from playing it. Like, I'm like, all right, let's get to it. Doing work. And yeah, great. It's solid. Great. I love the color palette that they have on it. They used the same color palette for Hybrid Theory. And the stage is also, I believe, from I forgot which music video it is. I'm blanking on the music video. But it's like you're in a tunnel, like a subway tunnel.
Okay.
And it looks so like a lot of the other stages look really open, like you're in like a really huge wide room. Right. This one feels very enclosed. So it's a very different take. Like, not a lot of, literally no other stages look like the stage. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool change up. It makes the blocks feel like they're actually coming at you a little bit more, because you actually have like a depth to actually gauge them against, besides just a big open field.
Yeah.
So yeah, super fun.
That's cool. That's awesome. I haven't been able to play Beat Saber too much. I did just I take that back. So last week or the week before, my buddy who owns Oculus, he had never played Beat Saber.
What?
I was like, you own an Oculus and you've never played Beat Saber. So he came over here to my house and played his own Oculus headset with my copy of Beat Saber. And he was like, dude, this game's so awesome. I'm like, yeah, it's the best. It's so good. and neither one of us are good. Like, I was struggling like on medium or whatever they call it. Like, it is like barely get over easy, but it's still so much stinking fun. Yeah. Beat Saber's cool.
Yeah. Should we talk to him? Should we tell the audience about our new audio thing we're going to be dropping? Our new episode?
Sure. Yeah.
So, the last game I'm playing is actually going to be for what we're going to call the Super Gamer Boys Book Club. Super Gamer Book Club is, I think, the unofficial working title of it. But basically, it's going to be it's a episode we're going to drop monthly for paid subscribers only. And basically what it is it's our in-depth review of an older title. So the first game we're going to go through is BioShock, obviously inspired by recent events. And we're going through BioShock 1. So I've been playing a lot of that, gearing up for our big review for that. So like I have a big old doc full of just notes, what I've been taking down. Taking it super serious. It's going to be like a straight book club. Almost like it's like our chance to really kind of not just be like, oh yeah, I played that game, it was really fun, but our chance to really kind of think about, the characters and the story, and really kind of dive into why the game is so great and why it's such a classic. So we're not going to just be playing like any old random game. We're going to be playing through like masterpieces in gaming and looking at why they're so iconic through the lens of,
Yeah. I just had an idea.
Yeah.
We can have that's going to drop exclusive for Patreon supporters. We can have our Patreon supporters vote on what game we're going to do next as well.
Yeah, I think that works too.
Cool. Like, obviously we're going to have a huge list, so we'll probably choose like 5 and be like, okay, out of these 5, which ones do you want? So if you want to be able to tell us which games to do our book club about, and then hear those, keep your ear to the ground.
That's a good idea.
the phrase? Is that the phrase? I don't know why I totally just went blank there, but yeah, keep listening to our show. We'll let you know when that'll be coming, and yeah, support us over there, because then not only can you listen to those exclusive episodes, but possibly determine what the next game will be.
Yeah, well, it'd be exclusively for subscribers to kind of vote on it. That'd be cool. You, me, JJ can all pick a title, and then because I obviously want to play a game that we want to play. I don't want to be like, oh well, we're gonna review this game.
No,
I'm like, I hate that game. I've already played it. I never want to play the game again. But yeah, that's a good idea. Dude, you got the brains. This is definitely your podcast. So happy to be here.
Once in a great while.
Yeah.
I mean, you came up with the book club idea, so you got me like 80% there, and I got the last 15, and I'll let JJ get the last 5 just so he doesn't feel like he's completely left out.
Yeah, totally. You know, he's got to contribute. He's still got to put a title in the box for his pick.
We'll see.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so yeah, I've been playing a lot of that, and I'm still working my way through Ghost.
Dude, it's awesome.
Yep.
Cool. Is it my turn?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Okay, I already talked about Fall Guys. I am happy to announce that I have played BioShock Infinite.
Finally, there it is. How far are you? Without giving, I mean, spoilers or not, I don't really care. How far are you? I swear, if you say, "Oh yeah, I've been playing BioShock Infinite, I got past the tutorial," that doesn't count.
So here's where I'm at. Right after, you're gonna hate me. I don't even want to say. I'm not gonna say. You're gonna be so mad. You're gonna be so mad.
Say it. I won't be mad. I promise.
So right after they all start, it's literally they all turn on you. You fight your way out. You fight the Burning Man, and then you like run into a restaurant. Like there's a checkpoint because it's a new area. That's it. Like I'm in that restaurant. So literally like maybe the end of chapter 1. I think technically when I looked up online, because I looked like a quick walkthrough, it was like technically chapter 3. But realistically, yeah, it's like the end of chapter 1.
Cool. Well, at least you're getting there. Not getting to the good parts yet, but
yeah.
I think you know what's funny? Want to hear my BioShock Infinite story? So I played through BioShock Infinite before we had our first kid. Amanda was pregnant with Isaac. Okay, and it was Memorial Day, so it was like about Memorial Day in May, right?
Yes.
Isaac is born in June, so I knew I was like, okay, this is gonna be the last time I'm ever gonna have a chance to actually sit down all day and just beat a game, like from start to finish. Just start it in the morning, finish it in the evening. And that's what I did. I played BioShock Infinite all day, beat it.
It's crazy.
It was awesome. I redboxed it or GameFlyed it. I forgot which one. And yeah, it was awesome. I loved every second of it.
Dude, GameFly is pretty awesome. There was like a couple of years ago, I kept getting these deals where it was like basically the whole like it was like Game Pass deals where like pay $2 and get like 3 months free. Like I got that like 3 times. So, you know, if they're each 3 months each, it's basically I got 9 months for like $10 total basically. And I played so many games in that time. I actually really enjoyed it. I'm like, this is awesome. I don't know if I'd ever pay full price for it. But with promo prices, I got to try so many games. And then like right away, I'm just like, oh, no, I don't like that game. You just mail it back and get the next one. And they're pretty quick with shipping. At least they were for me. Like I'd send it back and the next one is already on its way. I'm like, cool. Okay.
See, it took them about like 5 days from the shipping the games. Like they used to be a lot faster at it, and then they got slower at it. And then I was like, yeah. Because I was kind of the same thing where I just had like a bunch of trials, like once a year. Eventually it's got, I don't really need this. But yeah, anyway, sorry. That was my BioShock Infinite story. But how are you liking the game, Garrett?
So I'm liking it. I mean, immediately I'm just like, okay, yeah, I'm back in a BioShock world. Like the art style is very distinct. The very intense political like representations that they have going on, like the ultra nationalistic kind of thing going on, intense. Which again, like I remember this all from before. And honestly, it just felt good to be back doing like, you know, you get your first plasmid. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is fun. Like screwing around with stuff with your plasmids, like lighting people on fire or whatever you're doing. That's cool. So again, I've literally played, I think that's maybe an hour. I played for an hour. It was one of those things where I had played. So my other game I was going to talk about was Valorant. I played Valorant for like 6 hours because my buddy was streaming it, and he's like, hey, we need one more person for the squad. And I'm like, okay, I'll jump on. And then we finished at like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, I really need to start BioShock Infinite. And I look at my PlayStation, I'm like, I don't even think it's installed. Oh, it is. Huh. Why not just start it now? So I got like an hour in. It's like 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the morning. I'm like, I'm so dead. I can't do anymore. I just haven't been back to it. So BioShock, I haven't played a ton. I am loving being back in a BioShock world though, because I did love 1 and 2. I love 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And 3 or Infinite, for whatever reason, just at that stage of my life that I played it in, did not grab me. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. And so it's good so far. We're starting off on a good foot where I'm like, okay, this is fun. This is awesome. This is good. Feels good. And the remaster looks fantastic. Like everything about it, so good. PS4, 4K, looks amazing.
Yeah.
For Valorant, dude. So this is a game I had played like two matches, in the beta, and it was just like, I'm not really feeling it. But I played alone. Like obviously it's a team game, 5v5.
Right.
But I didn't play with friends, so I'm like, I don't know, not really feeling it. This is hard. I didn't understand like what I was trying to do. Now I feel like an idiot because I'm like, oh, it's just search and destroy from Call of Duty. It's just like plant the bomb, defend. Like that's all it is. Yep. But playing like with 4 other dudes who, you're all on comms, all on Discord, talking back and forth, planning. Again, like similar to this Fall Guys things, goofing off, telling jokes, being stupid. And, we're on stream. So like the stream's interacting with us and stuff too. That was so much fun. And honestly, in that like 6-hour span, I got so good at the game. I'm like, oh man, I suck. Like I am self-proclaimed. Like I've told you guys on the show before, like I'm bad at multiplayer shooter games. I'm bad. I'll play single player shooters because I can beat a computer. I'm great at killing computers. I'm real good at that. Human beings though, I'm not good. Like real people, too good for me.
Yep.
But Valorant, by the end of the night, like I think it was like our second to last round, all of a sudden I roll up with like 29 kills and I'm like, what the heck happened to me? Like in one game, I got 29 kills. Dang. Everyone was just like, what's happening? He's on fire. Like, I was like, I don't know. I'm just being like overtaken by the Holy Spirit or something here. Like, I'm on fire, man. Like, I like don't know what was happening, but by the end of the night, I was killing it. So I'm all for Valorant. Like that got me hyped. And again, like playing with the whole team, if you can get 5 people to play with you, you're all goofing off, having fun. That game is a blast. Like, I don't know what I missed when I did the beta, but I'm loving it to the point where I picked up the battle pass. I'm just like, heck yeah, I plan on, because he's my buddy streams Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, is twitch.tv/Boba Fletch. That's BOBAFLETCH. So like Boba Fett, but Fletch.
Got it, with the Fletch.
With a Fletch. And he does Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And Wednesday night, he usually does his Valorant stuff. So it's like whenever he's playing, I'm going to try to jump on with him because he's fun to play with. My other buddies are fun to play with. And nice. And also, yeah, it's so fun to do it with stream because then like I have a chat open. I'm like interacting with them and stuff too. And because they can all hear us through his Discord. Valorant's a blast. Check it out. And if any of you guys who listen are playing it, let me know because I'll play with you. Like if I'm not playing with my buddy, I'll jump on and play with you. So, like I think it was that night you reached out to me and it was like, hey, I think you and your brother were gonna play it or something.
We're playing Fall Guys.
Oh, that's what it was, Fall Guys. I think it was, yeah. It might have been that same night actually. I think we did Valorant forever, and then after some of my friends jumped off, we were like, let's do a couple hours of Fall Guys. And you're like, hey, do you want to play? I'm like, I'm playing with friends. Sorry. Yeah. But yeah, man, Valorant's cool. Check it out. It's a fun. And it's free. Game. You don't have to pay anything for it. Like I bought the battle pass only because I plan on like, okay, at least once a week I'm going to be playing it for like 6-7 hours straight. Yeah. And if not more, if I'm playing on other days of the week too. It's so much fun. I enjoy it. I highly recommend it.
It's an amazing shooter. It's one of the best competitive shooters ever made, in my opinion.
It's pretty dang good. Yeah. I feel like I don't have any like I don't have any final say on that. I'll just take your word for it. Because again, I'm horrible at multiplayer shooters. So I'm not gonna be like it's the best one. But dude, it's really good.
Yeah.
Cool. that's it for me. I haven't been doing much of anything else other than painting Warhammer, guys. That's what our secret new show is.
Nice.
Super tabletop Gamer Boys.
Super tabletop time?
Just rolls right off the tongue. That's actually better. Super tabletop time. Man. I knew we kept you around for a reason. Thank you.
I am in marketing.
It makes sense now. Thank you guys so much for listening to our podcast this week. Remember, you can support us over at patreon.com/supergamerboys. And at this point, you get the episodes early and ad-free. You get show notes. You get shout-outs on the show. And coming soon to a Patreon near you, you can get our bonus episodes. You can vote on what those book club games will be. We're hoping to add a lot more value to those tiers there. So like I said, keep an ear out, listen in, stay updated, and support us over there, because then you'll be first to know when those cool things come. Yep. supergamerboys.com/store. You can get some free, not free, sweet t-shirts, stickers, phone cases. We have all sorts of random stuff over there. Go check it out. It's fun. It's cool. Rate and review us. Favorite podcast app on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel. Give us that thumbs up and leave a comment. That helps tremendously with our videos getting found. And you can find us during the week at supergamerboys.com, Twitter and Instagram at supergamerboys, facebook.com/supergamerboys. I am on Twitter at gmorlang. Zetch is over on Twitter and Instagram
as well. NerdDadZetch.
At NerdDadZetch. And then JJ, he has a Twitter at JJ Purdom, but I mean, I think last week he liked something of mine that I tweeted, but he doesn't really use it. So he's not even worth the follow. Don't waste your time. That's harsh. All it does is just grow his ego. He has a big head, and it just keeps getting bigger the more you follow him and egg him on. He feeds off of it. Oh, that's 100% true. We it was about a month ago now, when I was still working in the office, before I had my baby, and I took 3 weeks off of work, which was dope. Although today was my first day back to work. Not dope.
I'll let John know that.
Yeah, go ahead. He knows. I'm not afraid to tell him.
Garrett doesn't like working.
he knows. Anyways, John, our boss was out of town for a couple weeks in a row. He did like a family trip, like 2 weekends in a row. They did like 2 family trips. I'm like, come on, dude, you're taking all these vacations. What's going on? Anyways, Fridays we usually have our company meetings. JJ was in charge of running the company meetings. Basically, it was just turned into an hour stand-up set of him making fun of me. And the problem with JJ is, like, here on the show, you guys think he's bad, but when he has an audience that laughs, oh, it's really bad. It's out of control. And when it's all targeted at me, it sucks. Let me tell you. I'm not going to say it's not funny, but it sucks. Yeah. He hears that laughter and he can't help but just keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. It's like, okay, dude, let's calm down. But anyways, thank you so much to Star Andrews for our logo. You can check her out on Instagram at Ground Floor Graphics and Facebook.com/Ground Floor Graphics. That's it. That's the end of the show. So normally, I feel like one of these times I need to learn what JJ says, but I think he says something
He's Garrett Morlang, the captain of the ship. I'm NerdDadZetch, the nerdiest dad on the podcast, and we are the Super Gamer Boys.
And we'll catch you on the flippity flop. I think we nailed it.
There, you're welcome.
Perfect.